Buongiorno and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you are new here. So today we have a very exciting video. We have the Conspiracy palette from the Dawson and Jeffree Star collab. I waited in line at Morphe for this morning. It was an experience. Like, I got a little impatient when it came to I got hungry. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. But yeah, it was, I'm still happy I did it, and there was a lot of great people there. I was shocked by the amount of people there that had they camped out. But anyways, it was still a good experience. I got to know some people, talk some makeup and all that good stuff. But we are going to get into this palette. The mini controversy, I'm going to do a giveaway and I will explain the rules a little bit later on. But let's go ahead and dive into this. I will be doing comparisons of other Jeffree Star palettes, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Do keep in mind, I know I can't make everybody happy in this video. It is going to be a controversial video, no matter what. So just try to be kind to one another in the comments. I would really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and dive in to this review. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up. I actually really love the packaging of this. It does remind me of a lot of the packaging, which I feel like you either love it or you hate it. It's really cool to look at, and then at the same time you're like, where am I gonna put this, But it has the little claspies on the side. I love the black part of it, just the black on black. It's not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be, which is something that I do like about his palettes. Even though they look like bulky packaging, they're not heavy to hold. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So you guys can see all the embossments. I hope that's the right word. The only thing I get sad about is I think they're beautiful, but then as soon as you dip in your brush, I don't want to ruin them. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at this, I definitely, I think it's gorgeous. You know what I mean? But I'm also okay, what do I want to use is the question. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to figure it out. All right. So like I said, we're just going to kind of be playing around. I'm going to start with Tanacon. I'm trying not to get it on the actual part so I can kind of savor that. I feel like he did same thing with him. I feel like it was kind of impossible to make everybody happy when thinking of one specific palette. I was going through and I was thinking Jeffree Star, he's got he's got a good amount of palettes that it's hard to for him, I'm sure it was hard for him to think of something that was gonna look super unique, but also be, I feel like the top row, he really tried to make it so that it was a wearable palette and not just an all over the place crazy palette. And I think he accomplished that. Is it a color story I looked at and I was just yes, I'm not gonna lie and say I thought that, but at the same time, I thought that about the Alien palette, and I use my Alien palette more than I use any other Jeffree Star palettes. So this is blending out great. I mean, I didn't really think the formula was gonna be an issue. It was more what are we color-wise, color selection type thing. So I think I'm gonna go in with Cheese Dust. I know he changed some of the names and I was already Cheetah, and I was no, it's called Cheese. And then I saw the pigment shade, which has a little pig on it, and I thought that said pig meat at first, and I was oh, no, I don't like that. I can't, I don't know. I get really weird about certain names of things, or just, I think pigs are cute, but can I wear a sweatshirt with it? No, because I would feel guilty if I was eating pork and wearing a pig sweatshirt. I would feel bad. I don't know if that's weird or not. I lasted as a vegetarian for 6 years, and then I went back and I ate steak, and I was just I can't. It was the doors had been opened, and I was just I can't go back to not eating meat. But I still feel guilty, so I was I can't wear something with a cute little pig face on it. I can't do it. I can wear the eyeshadow, but I can't wear a sweatshirt, So yeah, these are blending out perfectly. It does look super vibrant in the pan, Cheese Dust does, but it's not as it's still a good transition shade. I would just put it as a more of a transition shade than that punch of bright orange. It's definitely coming off more muted on the eyes, which I am not mad at because, like I said, it makes a perfect transition color. All right, and then on the outer corner, I'm gonna start packing Not a Fact, which is the maroonish shade. I don't know, what were your guys' first thoughts when he actually released the palette? Like, I feel like Jeffree, like Shane, like diehard fans, I don't think it could have been any colors, and I think a lot of people would have been like, it's fine, I'm getting it. And that's fine. Like, even in the line today, there were so many people that were just like, I didn't really care. Like, I don't wear makeup, but I just wanted to like support Shane. Where me, I went both ways, where I was like, I like him, but I'm not generally like a fan person in that way. Like, I've never been, doesn't matter how much I love something, like, I don't like to meet, like, I've never waited in line to be like, maybe when I was like 15 to meet like a famous person, but I'm just not that person. And I kind of looked at this as like, you know, yes, I want to support Shane and it's a cool endeavor, and I obviously support Jeffree Star because I buy a lot of its products. But I also wanted it to be something where I'm like, I don't want to just buy a palette that I'm never going to use, you know? So, I don't know. That's how I personally think of it, and that's why I was like, how am I going to do this review? Do I do it based off of, you know, I know I'm not going to make everyone just completely happy. So this is building up super nice. It's kind of the same thing. I like how buildable it is. Like, when you look at it in the pan, it looks a little scary. But to be honest, like, I'm packing it on, and it's really not as deep as I thought it was going to be, which is interesting. All right, I think what I want to do is go in with this shimmer right here, which is Just a Theory, as well as Conspiracy, which is this green. And I actually really like the tone of this green. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my brush. All right, so I'm going to take that green. Oh, that is really pretty. I like this. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, like, just looking, I kind of wanted the whole reveal video. Like, I really look forward to those. I don't know if I was the only one, but like, I wanted him to like talk about each shade, and like, I know they showed us throughout the series, but I've liked one just based off of like the actual products. Morphe already was sold out of all the lip products when I went in, and to be honest, like, usually he has a boring nude, like a nude that's for like boring people like me. And this time there really wasn't one. I feel like, you know, like the metallic, like I just don't feel like metallics look good on my lips. Like, I like to think that they do, and then when I buy them, I won't use them. So I just decided to pass on that in general regardless. All right, and then we're going in with Just a Theory. I'm okay about that one. I don't feel like it's, you know, the prettiest shade. It could have had a little bit more brightness in it. It's not bad by any means, but I kind of, you know, I like, pinks are my favorite, so I was definitely looking forward to that shade where it's kind of like a pinky gold, but I feel like you can't really, it's not showing up as well as I wanted it to. Formula-wise and like metallic-wise, it's fine. It's just more like the color. It's definitely like a little bit more of a muted color in general. I'm going to lightly dip back into Cheese Dust, and I just feel like I kind of covered that up a little bit, and I want it to be just a little bit more intense. So I'm going to just blend that back through the crease. And then I'm also going to go ahead and, I think because that shade isn't as intense as I want it to be, I think I kind of want to pick up Diet Cola, which is like this really bright silver tone. Yeah, the silver is definitely way more intense than the shade Just a Theory, which I think is fine. It just all, you know, it's makeup. It's all preference. Like, that's, you know, it's just meant for fun. But yeah, I like that a little bit better. And then let's actually pick up just a little touch of, I don't want it to be too dark. We're going to pick up a little bit of Sleep Paralysis and just kind of pack that in the outer. All right, for the lower lash line, I am going to go ahead and pick up Not a Fact, which is back with that maroon. I guess it's not maroon, it's purple. It's definitely a purple shade. All right, and then I'm going to blend that out with just a little bit of pigment. See, there we go. Oh, why? All right, so I really like those two colors blended out together. And then I think for that inner corner, let's go a little different. Let's go ahead and pick up Food Vibes, Food Videos. Why can't I read today? I've been in line and it was a late night for Halloween. So we're going to pick up Food Videos. I feel like he changed that name too. There's a lot of names I feel like he had to like change last second, and I'm like, they're already stuck in my head. So we are going to tap that in the inner corner. Okay, I'm actually a lot happier with that than I thought it was going to be, because in some lighting it looked like a yellow shade, and I'm very happy it's more of like a chartreuse type shade. So, and then on top of that green, we're going to grab the shade Ranch. That one definitely come off a little bit thicker, which is fine. I don't mind it, but just so you guys know. There we go. This is a nice highlight shade. He always does a really good job with like his whites. And let's put Ranch up here as well for that brow bone. All right, I'm gonna do the other eye off camera. You guys can see like there was really no fallout at all, which I'm very happy about. All right, so here is the final look. I actually really like the way it turned out. Like, it's not the most like bright look, but it's also like, I don't know, I think just looking at the palette, I was kind of like, are these shades gonna go together? Are they not gonna go together? And I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So let's go ahead and get into swatches and comparisons. I have all my Jeffree Star palettes out on a table, which it's a tiny table, so they're all balancing, and I'm just like, fingers crossed that nothing falls off. But let's go ahead and get into that part. I didn't put on blush because I did want to try the shade Pigment as a blush. Very lightly. I'm not a big blush person, but I do feel like this would definitely work as a blush as well. So we are not going to put on too much. Just enough, just a little kiss, you know? Okay, so here are the first row of swatches. So I feel like the first row he did a really good job of trying to make it more neutral. I know that this shade does not show up well on my arm, the Tanacon shade, but that is what I used in the crease, and that worked out perfectly fine. It's just blending in with my skin tone right now. But I wanted to swatch Pluto from the Alien palette next to Ranch, I think. Yeah, so it is me. This is my favorite inner corner shade from Jeffree Star, or just in general. I reach for this one on a daily basis. But it is more goldish, whereas Ranch is definitely like more of a pure white. But I still think it makes a great like inner corner shade. So those are the shades we have right there. The only shade I feel like I was a little bit disappointed in was the shade Just a Theory. Like I thought it was going to be a little bit more intense, but like I said, I think some people are just going to love that for an everyday type look. Okay, so for the second row, this is what we have. I really, really like the shade Conspiracy. That was probably my favorite out of this row. Okay, and then the ones that definitely like stood out to me as far as like this row here, the shade Trisha really reminded me of the Jawbreaker palette in terms of cotton candy. So I am going to swatch that right next to it. So here is Cotton Candy versus Trisha. So they are a little bit different. The Jawbreaker Cotton Candy is just the taddest bit brighter, but definitely pretty similar. And then in terms of the shade right here, which is Flaming Hot, it kind of reminds me of Cherry Wet from the Jawbreaker palette. No, definitely more intense, so that's good. And then from the Blood Sugar, I'm going to go ahead and swatch the Cherry Soda. I almost said flavor instead. And then Prick right next to it. So I would say it's probably closest to Prick from Blood Sugar. This is the swatch here of Flaming Hot again. So definitely similar tones. I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, but pretty close on those ones. Mattes don't bother me as much compared to shimmers. Shimmers are more like what I want to be unique in a palette. And then let's go ahead and move on to the last row. All right, this is the last row of the Shane Dawson palette. So these, I really am excited to use What's the Tea. I really don't think of like any shade I have in my collection that is similar to this, like, I don't even know how to explain the color. It's like more of like an Earl Grey tea, so it's like perfect as far as the name, but it has a little bit of like a blue base in there. So I think that that is a gorgeous shade. Let's go ahead and swatch Probe next to Illuminati. Okay, those are very, very close. These two shades. So that is from the Alien palette and Probe, and the Illuminati maybe be a touch deeper, but it's pretty similar. And then the blacks, I mean, like I said, I'm fine with the mattes being the same. So that's also the black from the Alien palette. All right, a lot of swatches. Like, I'm like, oh, what else is there? So Not a Fact is probably going to be similar to Cola or Extraction from the Blood Sugar palette. You guys can kind of see those next to each other. That's a crappy swatch, I'm sorry. But definitely pretty similar. Okay, so overall, like, I'm trying to really consider my wording here, but I like the palette. There's, you know, some of the shades are definitely similar, obviously, to the other Jeffree Star palettes. I still feel like it has its unique pops of color. This is definitely a color story put together that I wouldn't have thought of, and I definitely didn't expect. Having said that, I think some people, if you are just a Jane Star fan, just Jane Star, you know, if you are a Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson fan, I think that you'll just be happy. Like, I don't think it matters what colors were in here. You're just going to be happy with your purchase. But for someone who really wants to use the palette, I think he tried to do his best between including like neutral shades as well as shades that were, you know, that spoke to him a little bit more. So it all depends on what you like. It's not the easiest in terms of trying to figure out what colors would go together. But like I said, I was pretty surprised on my eyes that I was like, oh, okay, these don't look bad. Like, I can't wait to use the shade What's the Tea. I definitely plan on doing more looks with this palette, so let me know which shades you guys want to use. But in terms of like the actual formula, like, it is classic Jeffree Star formula. I don't think you'd be upset. And I really actually like that he put quite a few neutrals in here. Like, the only shade that I mentioned again was that Just a Theory. I thought it was going to be more of like a rose gold, like a champagne-y type shade, and it didn't really pop on my lid. But other than that, like, I'm not upset with this palette. Like, I just think it's more of like, you might take a few minutes to try to figure out what to do with it, so it may not be as beginner friendly. But overall, I'm happy with my purchase. Like I said, I generally buy Jeffree Star palettes, so this is what I expected with it. And yeah, I think for $52, it really just depends on, you know, are you buying it to use it as a makeup palette? Well, then maybe it might be a little bit more difficult for you. If you're buying it as just a fan and you want the palette, then you'll be super happy with it. So let me know your thoughts down below. But I'm excited to like keep using it. Like, I'm not mad at it for sure. But obviously, I want to do more looks. Please don't forget to subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. In terms of the giveaway, it is open to the US. I will have the description, like all the rules down below. But I think all I'm going to have you guys do is make sure you're subscribed to my channel. It is the Mini Conspiracy palette. So, no, Controversy palette. But make sure you are subscribed to my channel. And then, because I know that this video is going to have a lot of negativity in it, comment something positive about yourself, about somebody else, something positive that happened in your life this week, and enter like your email or Instagram so that I can find you and let you know who wins. It will be open, I think, for a week is what I'll do. So next Friday is when the giveaway will be closed. But that is it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.